this a little. As you can see, I'm the sensitive type. I mean, I look like it, I am. I'm one of Bray's close friends. My name's Tommy. And I've known Ray a long time. Sorry. But I wanted to come up and talk because I felt like if I didn't, this would have been something. Hung out every time we trained together, every time we played basketball, talk about Bryant and everything that's going on in Bryant's life. I've played with Bryant, I've worked out with Bryant, I've laughed with Bryant. One of the things that I personally love to do the most was, but bust Ray's chops in front of Bryant because he loved it. And it's just funny how things in life come back around because after the great favorite uncle, your story. My dad told me when I was younger that you'll never be good at basketball until you can beat me. Come to find out years later that my dad actually sucked at basketball. It took me a really long time to beat him. He was just a really good outside shooter. Years and years later, when I became a young teenager, I ended up beating my dad in basketball, and I thought I was good. And I was one of those players where I didn't have to speak because my actions showed everything. And I think it's one of the greatest things that I got to witness Bryant beat Ray at basketball many times. Every time he did it, I just sat there and remembered my father and I playing in our driveway in Hockessin, Delaware, when I was growing up as a kid. Unfortunately, I got a taste of Ray's medicine. There's only been 2 times in my entire life when I played basketball in high school and college and all over the place. And there was once when I played in the summer league that I don't know why, but something in me told me to jump. And I could jump high, I could get my head up over the rim at that time. And I jumped, and this guy dunked it right on me. And I never felt so bad my entire life. Until one day in LA Fitness in Hollywood, Brian crossed over on me, and I just about broke my ankle. I fell to the ground, I started cussing, and I was all mad, and I even looked at Brian, and I was like, this kid did just do that to me. So twice in my life, I've been dealt that hand, and Brian was one of them. But in all seriousness, Brian was an amazing man. He's one of those type of people that there's just not that many like that anymore out there. And through some of the stories that you said today, made me realize even more, I've always loved Brian, and I've always, looked up to him and was concerned about him, and, wanted the best for his future, and always talked to Ray about what was going on, and kept in touch with that. But Brian had the biggest heart, and he was so kind and so respectful, and I just loved the way he carried himself and the way he treated others. And there's not very many people like that out there anymore, and it's sad. And on the other hand, Ray's relationship with Brian is amazing. The relationship that he has with all of his kids is amazing. He's an amazing father. He loves his kids to death, and he would do anything in the world for them. And he always stopped in the middle, and it pissed me off. Because we'd get in the middle of playing basketball, working out together, and he would have to stop to go help Brian with something. It was always something. So now I'm in the same shoes as Ray because I have a 2-year-old son 14-year-old daughter that just went into high school, God help me. And I have a stepdaughter that's 10 years old, so I understand what Ray's lifestyle is running around, and everything's for the kids. It really is. And the relationship that Ray had with Brian, I call Ray, I'm gonna be in Hollywood tomorrow morning. You wanna train? Yeah, let me call Brian, let him know we're gonna train, see if he wants to train with us. Ray, I'm gonna be in Hollywood Saturday. You wanna get together, play basketball, train? Yeah, let me call Brian. It was always let me call Brian, let me call Brian, let me call Brian. To have that kind of relationship with your son is something that I just like hope and pray for every day, that I can have that with my son and be able to do that. It's an amazing thing. And I was just talking with my brother literally a month ago and talking to him about Ray and Brian's relationship and telling him how Ray trains with him with basketball and helps him every way that he possibly can, because my brother has a young son now that he's training for baseball. And I was telling him about Ray's life with Brian and basketball. And I even said to my brother that I hope that I can have the same relationship with my son that Ray did with Brian. So with that being said, hold your head up high. Brian knows how much all of you loved him, and you know how much Brian loved you guys. He was an amazing kid, amazing man. You couldn't have raised anybody better than that, and he will always be loved and always held in our